Hello, and thank you for joining me for Veg with Lisa live. I'm Lisa. This is most definitely live, and I'm really sorry, not sorry to say that this is not a vegetable, but it is a freshly picked pear off of my mom's organic pear tree. And I want to show you something new I discovered this year to do with these beauties. Even if you don't have access to a pear tree, there are no doubt going to be beautiful pears at your farmer's market and even the supermarket in these late summer, early fall months. But before I get started, please say hi. Ellie! Oh, Ellie, it's been too long. It's great to see you. Say hi. Let me know that you're here so that I know that you can see me and that you can hear me. And let me tell you about my pears. All right, but first, I want to put you down here. I'm going to make caramelized pears. You really don't need a recipe at all, especially when you have such beautiful fruit. Oh, pears and cheese, Ellie says. You know what? Absolutely. That sounds good. What kind of cheese, Ellie? I have a guess, but I'd like to know what you have to say. So, caramelized pears. Anyway, I was saying, you don't need a recipe. All you really need to do is to bite into one of these juicy beauties. But this is really, really yummy way, caramelizing these pears to use them in a myriad of ways. Isn't that a fancy word? Velveeta. Ellie, that's baloney. I don't believe you. Is Velveeta really cheese anyway? Okay, so to caramelize, you're going to need just a little bit of, oops, I need a new what do you call this? A new towel. Sorry. You're going to need just a little bit of oil of some sort I'm using a big cast iron skillet. Now, butter would probably be really great. I'm using this fake vegan butter because we just happen to have it. You know what? I really don't recommend this stuff because it's full of processed foods, but it was in our fridge, so I'm going to use it. You don't need hardly any. So one of the things that I love so much about this recipe is it shows that you can cook things in a way that might taste and seem decadent, but they're not going to ruin your health goals, your waistline, your lab reports. So butter, this is fake vegan butter. Hi, Susan. You could use a little bit of coconut oil. You could even use avocado oil, something that's very neutral. So I'm going to just kind of get that going in my cast iron skillet. Susan, do you recognize this? Tell us about your pear tree. Okay, then what? This is so simple. This is so simple. You simply cut your pear into wedges. Oh my gosh. And it's okay if it's really ripe, like this one is. I'll simply cut out the stem. Oh my gosh. Yes, look at that. I'm just going to cut the stem out and cut this into whatever you call this shape. These little wedges. And then I'm going to place them in my skillet where I've melted a little bit of that butter. You could use anything that you want, but you'll just need something to help the pears caramelize and so that they don't stick. It is organic and loaded. Susan's pear tree is organic and loaded. And then you know what you can do? Eat those little bits. Oh my gosh, they are so good. So pears are super good for you, as you might imagine, even though they're not a veg. They are absolutely zero fat. I hope you're still not counting fat. If you are, we need to talk. They have a teeny bit of protein, maybe like 1 gram of protein per pear. This was probably equivalent to 2 pears, this big bad boy. So let me pick them up here. Show them bubbling away. Doesn't that look amazing? Now, I'm going to put the lid on and just kind of let the cut side of those pears, the natural sugar will start to caramelize. And I was starting to tell you about some of the health benefits of pears. So they are loaded with fiber. One pear has as much as 6 grams of fiber, which is a really great source. And remember, y'all get enough protein, but you likely don't get enough fiber. So eat a pear. Why not? Okay. So I'm letting these cook just for a couple minutes on each side. And while they do, I got a couple things going on here. Oh, look, I just have to show you these. Look at the beautiful blush color on those. Ha ha. Now, while those cook, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, what I've been doing, what Rob and I have been doing with these pears. We've been eating them on our morning oatmeal. I cooked this with turmeric in it. That's why it's yellow. You could also put them on your ice cream or your yogurt or anything else. But look at this. I made these earlier. Aren't they absolutely beautiful? Caramelized pears. And I went out to get some rosemary from my garden, and I'll tell you about that in a second. And I saw these beautiful nasturtiums, which are edible, so I picked those too. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to finish these off, but this is what they're going to look like. Now, when I went out to my garden to pick the rosemary, it was indeed for these pears because I think rosemary goes beautifully with pears, especially if you're going to serve your pears with cheese. Now, not that Velveeta. Don't believe Ellie. She made that part up. I'm pretty sure she doesn't eat Velveeta. Oh, this rosemary is so fragrant. It's absolutely delicious. Okay, probably time to turn my pears. So I hope you can. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Aren't they absolutely beautiful? Now remember, I put maybe a teaspoon of something to cook them in. I use fake vegan butter, which I don't necessarily recommend, but we had it. You can use regular butter. You could use coconut oil. Oh gosh, look at these. This is so simple. Honest to goodness. Now, what we'll do on the second side is I'm going to sprinkle them with a little bit of cinnamon. You could do cardamom, you could do nutmeg, you could do any spice that you like. This is so much better than that pumpkin pie business that's going to come out. And then drizzle them with just a teeny weeny little bit of maple syrup. And again, you hardly need any. So I'm all about, and then I'm going to put my lid back on. I'm all about no sugar. Heather, hi, it's good to see you. Are you at the cemetery? I'm all about no sugar, and maple syrup is processed by our bodies just like regular sugar, but it does have nutritional content. And I use like a teaspoon. Again, remember, you can cook things that are comfort food without resorting to those old-fashioned ways that we now know put weight on our waistline and fat in our bloodstreams and all that other stuff. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was doing. So I made some oatmeal for breakfast this morning. You're at the cemetery. Yay! Heather's at the cemetery. I caramelized these pears earlier. And then this is what Rob and I have been having for breakfast. And again, I'll show you how I finished them off to make them look this beautiful. I just sprinkled a little bit of chopped rosemary on there that I picked out of my very own garden. And then I also love chocolate with pears. So my favorite source of chocolate these days is cacao nibs. So I'm going to sprinkle a little cacao nib on there. And then also some chopped walnuts. I love walnuts and pears. Remember, you could put this on your yogurt, on your oatmeal. You could just have a bowl of these caramelized pears by themselves. Now, I happen to have some cashew cream in the fridge that I made for my cream of asparagus soup. Hi, Rob. They are amazing. I want you to try them. You don't have to do that. That's just a bonus. Okay. I probably shouldn't taste this before I show you how I finish them off, but I'm going to because I know how good it is. Okay. Let's finish these off. Probably good idea to take the lid off and let some of that liquid cook away. But since I want to show you, look at these. Absolutely beautiful. Now, sorry. I put my dish towel on the hot burner. Never mind if the smoke alarm goes off. I forget with these electric stoves that the heat stays on. It's going to depend on how ripe your pears are. If your pears are not as ripe as this one was, you will probably need to cook them just a little bit longer. But this was perfectly ripe. Look at these. So absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, who says you can't have your cake and eat it too? Delicious, healthy dessert topping for breakfast. Okay, now to finish what I did before I started to catch my dish on fire. To finish these off, you can deglaze your pan with a little bit of lemon juice. Orange juice would be good as well. I like to deglaze pans for two reasons. One, it makes the cleanup easier. And two, I got some seeds in it, but we're not going to worry about that. It gets all those little brown bits out of there. So deglazing is just a fancy way to say squirt some juice in there. Wine would be good. If you're going to serve these with cheese, squirt some juice in there, cook it down a little bit, and get all of the good bits up off the bottom, and then pour these over your caramelized pears. And voila. Then we can get our oats or our yogurt or our ice cream or even just a bowl back out here and get some of this delicious, yummy, yummy caramelizing juice. I got too much going on here. That is the story of my life. Let's taste them again. Absolutely delicious. Let me get you up here. Caramelized pears, perhaps with chopped rosemary, some cacao or chocolate, a little extra dash of cinnamon, some cashew cream. If you just happen to have it around, toss them in a bowl, eat them for dessert, put them on your oatmeal, put them in your yogurt. Whatever you do, put them in your belly. Thank you for joining me for Vegetable Lisa Live. Happy Labor Day, and I'll see you next week. Now go pick yourself some pears.